All right, welcome, my new students. All right, welcome to art class. This is my classroom. I'm Mr. G, your art professor, art instructor for this term. So let's go over a few basic things that we need to cover today. Number one, I have a main channel, which is Trifire Studios. That is my main channel where I host most of my tutorial videos. This YouTube channel is strictly for just the daily notes, what you guys need to know on an everyday basis. Now, when I do these videos several weeks in advance, and it's giving you kind of a breakdown of what needs to be done on that specific day. So I might change it up, I might add a little something to it during class time, and I post notes in you guys' Canvas pages so that you guys have an overview of what the projects look like, what the things are that have to be done in the project, and these videos are strictly for a day-to-day overview of what you guys need to accomplish. Now, my main objective for this class, in addition to doing the art aspect, is time management. Now, time management is how you guys are taking the class time itself and structuring out your specific things that you need to accomplish, whether it is the assignment itself, it's an art history assignment that you're doing, sketchbook elements where you have to pre-design some of the projects that we're doing in class. All that stuff is solely on you. You have to manage your own time during that, and I give you kind of a overview of what has to be accomplished during the class time. Now, a couple things that we also got to cover today is my class rules video. I'm going to put that in the description, so click on that link, watch the rules video. That's going to be on my main channel. Make sure that you're aware of how the procedures of the classroom work. I will have another video coming up in just a little bit of, at the end of each period, or breakdowns, cleanup procedures that we usually do, because those are kind of specific to the different tasks that we're doing. On top of that, next we got to get over forms. So most of you that just came in got a packet. On this packet, it has a bunch of different pages. Number one, you have the rubric page. The rubric page is a basic overview of how I grade all my assignments. This is very nondescript, non-specific to the overall project. What this is a guiding principle that I use. It's a guidelines of where I'm gonna kind of hunt and peck across your project. The 5 to 6 checkpoints that you have to cover in each project is on the Canvas side. In the notes, it says student will complete X, Y, and Z of the project. That is the kind of the first one here, the overview of the grade, what you guys are going to be assessed on. Make sure that you have all of those components in there, because I deduct points as you don't have things on there. I also deduct points if you're mismanaging your time during class. I mean, you come into class and you just kind of sit there and you don't really progressively get through each class, trying to structure out all of your projects. All of my projects are timed to give you plenty of time to work in class and to get all those pieces done. And if you manage your time well, you should have a very easy time tackling all of those different projects. The problem is that when you kind of slack off for a day or two, your amount of work that you have to get done on top of that exponentially grows. I do usually do 2 or 3 projects at a time, and they're stacked on top of each other, so they're overlapping all the time. And that's so that it's really, for me, because of the way that I work on multiple projects at a time, because I get bogged down. If I stick on one project too long, my brain just gets flattened, and I can't create the way that I like to create. I can't be as creative in doing that project. Now, for you, if you want to go through an entire project and knock that one out and then move on to the next one, you can totally do that. That's time management. That's your skill that you have to build. But some people like to work on multiple projects, because then it breaks up the time frame so that they're not just doing the same thing repetitiously over and over and over, and that just gets bogged down. Behind that, we have the student survey. That's the half sheet here. It's got a bunch of different questions on it that gives me an overview of your own mentality, what you are into, what your interests are, because that helps me find things that I can tie in to give you more interest into what projects you want to do, what things you want to accomplish. I'm a huge Marvel TV fan. I'm a big movie fan and movie buff myself. I like cinema. I like that kind of stuff, and I use that a lot in my own work. So if that's your thing, we got a lot to talk about. I don't really do sports. It's just not my thing in general. I don't sport, but I do like movies. I do think that that's a lot more interesting, and I pull from that all the time. Next, we have the syllabus. So the syllabus page, these are all the same across the board for the entire county. Nothing is new in there. So this is a front and back sheet On the front side, you have all the basic, how do I get an A, what the class overview is, some of the units that we do. On the back, there's a little more specifics down here in the overview piece. This gives you specifics on what we gotta have in class. My big things are the sketchbook, the pencil, the any additional items that I need you guys to bring from home. I go over that in my rules video, and I talk about some of that stuff. So know that you might need to bring in some other stuff from into class. So if we're doing a project, a specific project, you might need to bring in some stuff, but that's really case specific, and I go over that when we get to each of those projects. Last thing we have, or next thing we have, is the profile sheet. You're filling out the top portion of this. This is a profile sheet that we do for the entire class. It's a school thing, it's not a me thing, but I one-on-one talk with you guys most of the class period during the course of the term, so I know where you guys are at mentally. I know where you guys are at in your skill levels. So this really doesn't apply to me, but I have to do the paperwork. Because why? Because we got to do paperwork. So fill out the top portion as best you possibly can, and what you can't fill out, I'll fill out the rest of it. Then we have the media release form. The media release form is very important in here because we do a lot of photography of the projects in process. The reason being is I want you guys to be able to facilitate and direct your own kind of work. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that if you have a social media presence, an Instagram, a TikTok, a Facebook, a WhatsApp, I guess could work. If you're integrated in any of these things, then you have people who are responding to you, who see what you do on a daily basis. This is next in line to that. By showing a client or prospective client of how the process of the work was created, some of the other works that you're doing, that they can create a following, they can create a series of pieces that they would be intending to buy. That pulls in the clientele that you want to keep going, and you want to keep making those pieces because they're going to keep buying those pieces. This is all about marketing. How are you marketing yourself out to the world? I want you guys to take pictures of the projects in process as you guys are building the project. Also, this makes my life easier in grading also, because I have photos that I can attach to the grading aspect and figure out how your grade balances out across all the different components that I'm asking for. So when these things have to be met in the project, you have photographic evidence to meet those elements, and it just makes both of our lives a lot easier. You will be uploading those to Canvas. I think it's under the uploading a file. You're going to have several points where you're going to have to upload several different items, and the reason being is so that it makes the grading a whole lot easier and more equitable across the board for everybody, so that there's a level of transparency, so that I know what you did and you have photographic evidence to back it up. My number one thing is, when you're taking a picture of your work or taking pictures in general of the pieces that you're doing, no one is in the background. Take it of the work only. Make sure the work is what is in frame. Make sure nobody is in the frame other than your work. This is really just a legal reason. I'm not really going to go into it, but just know that that is why I need you guys to do that. Last thing is this: if you guys have questions, you know where to find me. I am big time online. I do check my emails on the regular, and that's probably the easiest thing to do is to email me if you have questions. We're not in class. Otherwise, in class, you guys ask me questions. Hope you guys are doing well. Catch you guys later. Later, guys.